Hey everyone, my name is Teeland. I go to Stanford University, and let me show you around what I do in a day in the life. So I'll usually try to wake up at around 8:30 or 9 to start to get ready. But it's important to note that Stanford runs at a quarter system, so every quarter my schedule would be different. This was during fall quarter, so I would wake up a little bit earlier, but winter and spring it could be a different story. And really quickly, while I'm changing, I told you guys I would be making a Q&A video for 1,000 subscribers, and I didn't forget about it. I just had a ton of work during the school year, so now that it's summer, I have more time. And since I'm going into my senior year, I'm going to have a lot more time as well because I finished all of my harder core classes, so stay tuned for that. In the morning at Stanford, it usually is a little bit more cloudier and colder, but it gets a lot warmer throughout the day, and I really feel spoiled because the weather is always so nice. Now I'm getting ready for my first class of the day, which is COM 166 Virtual People. And the fun thing about this class is it's held entirely in virtual reality. So the class, they give you VR headsets. And the good thing about my dorm is that there are study rooms on each floor. They're called huddles. And what I can do is I can just go in a huddle and I can start going in virtual reality. But one time I was in one of these rooms and somebody walked in and saw me doing this, and I felt like an idiot the entire time. But I'll just put on the headset and then I'll join the virtual world. It's definitely one of the best classes I've ever taken at Stanford. You learn a lot about applications like philosophy in virtual reality and how people interact with people versus virtually and in person. But yeah, after that class, I will leave my dorm. It's a really nice view, and I'll use a scooter. I know that I get a lot of flack for using a scooter, but it's fast, it's convenient, whatever, who cares? So I'll park my scooter and I'll go eat brunch, which is at Wilbur Dining Hall, which is really mostly known as the Asian dining hall because they have a lot of Asian cuisine there, and the lines are always super long. They're known for being extremely long. Today they were serving sweet and sour pork for brunch. The dining hall isn't super big, but I still have to try to find my friend's table where they're eating. After I finish up, you have to put your dishes away, so I put it away in the dish return, and I have to start getting ready for my second class of the day, which is CS 109, Intro to Probability for Computer Scientists, I believe it's called. But yeah, I start to leave brunch, and my next destination is at the engineering quad, which is on the other side of campus, so it's a bit of a trek, but I can't really complain because of how beautiful it looks all the time. And now after parking my scooter, we're going to go into a place called Huang Basement, which is, it sounds kind of sus. It's like you're going to Jensen Huang's basement, but really it's just where a lot of the STEM classes are held and a lot of people study for office hours. If you're really lucky, you'll find a room like this one. This is the HP garage, which is a really fun place to study, and usually it's always taken, so I was really lucky to find the spot in here. Right now it is 12:10 and my next class is at 3, so it gives me a lot of time to do some work. I'll also take a peek at the lecture notes that our professor Chris Peach has uploaded just to get a little bit of an introduction into what we're going to be doing for the day. And then after that, I will pack up and start going to the next class, which is actually conveniently right next door. It's an NVIDIA auditorium. But I mentioned Chris Peach earlier, who is teaching this class, and you might recognize him because he recently did an interview with Wired. All the comments on the video were talking about how engaging and informative he is, and it really makes you grateful to be learning from someone like him. This class is really neat because it sets up the base for a lot of the stuff in probability that will eventually lead into classes about artificial intelligence and how probability plays into it. But now that class is ending, I still have to stay in Huang Basement for a little longer because my CS 109 discussion section is virtual and I don't really want to bike somewhere else, so I'll stay inside one of the rooms here, and that usually takes like an hour. And then I will finally leave Huang Basement after staying there for, what was that, like 4 or 5 hours? Insane. Since Hwang Basement is on the complete other side of campus where I live, I have to make the trek all the way back. But it's not really that bad of a trek because I can always just stop and smell the roses at Main Quad. It's always so pretty. Architecture is always so nice. You can never get sick of it. After passing by Main Quad, I now go on Jane's Stanford Way, which is kind of like the main road that everybody goes onto. Right now, I'm gonna go over to the dorm that I lived in last year, which is a row house. I'm coming here because I have a lot of friends that are here, and it's always a great place to just study because, you know, those huddles back in my other dorm are super compact. It can feel very constricting, so I like to go around and try to study in different places. After studying there for a little bit, I start to leave and I go back to my original dorm, which isn't that far of a trek away. The thing about EVGR, which is where I live, is that you can get dinner really close by. It's not always the best, but it'll do sometimes. A lot of my friends recommended I go today because their special was really good. Today they had, I believe it was some kind of pesto pasta that they made really good. It was a little bit greasy, but for the most part, I think the vegetables and the pasta really balance each other out, and it was a pretty good meal. So first, I'll try to find my friends, and we'll start digging into this mushroom pasta. And of course, after we finish the meal, we have to put it away back at the dish return, but you can't finish off a meal without good old fruits, so I'm going back down into the food area, getting some good old fruits. After I eat all of those, by the time that I finish dinner, it usually gets super dark outside, and this is the time that I go back into my dorm, which is a building away, so it's not really that far. Right now it's around 10 p.m. and the gym closes at 11 p.m. so I'll try to get a quick workout. This was, again, remember, this is fall quarter, and me in spring quarter I kind of tapered off, I'm not gonna lie, but I actually played a lot of squash. There's a squash court in the gym, but in fall quarter I would do a lot of cardio and weights as well, so trying to stay fit. It's always hard as a college student balancing working out, doing extracurriculars, and doing school, but I always try my best to pack it all into one day. So the first thing I'll try to do at the gym is hit some cardio and use a treadmill, and a lot of my friends roast me because they're like, why would you use a treadmill at a gym when you can just run outside? And you know what, they're right, but there's something kind of soothing about using a treadmill. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, after I do some cardio, I'll try to do some weight exercises, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I have no idea what I'm doing most of the time. A lot of my friends are there to help me, and I'm super grateful for them because honestly, if they were not there, I would just be doing a ton of random stuff all the time. Now around this time, it'll be like 10:50, and there'll be like someone on the intercom saying, all right, the gym is closing, you have to leave. So I'll leave, and it's usually super cold at this time, but I have like the adrenaline from the gym, so it's like pushing me back towards the dorm, and I feel really like vindicated. Then I'll just go back into my room and make the trek up and finish off any loose ends that I have for the rest of the day before I prepare to go to sleep. I also do all the normal nightly routine stuff like take a shower, brush my teeth before I get ready to go to bed. And that is pretty much the rest of my day. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you're trying to choose between Stanford or some other school and you really just wanted to see a peek into the life of what Stanford is kind of like as a student every day, hopefully you enjoyed, and I really appreciate you watching all the way through. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.